want you to know that even though we doing it real grand, if this
podcast
shit don't work, we running up in niggas' houses, my word.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Red Clay Podcast. This is your host, Dana Jones.
This is Michael White.
And, you know, we gave you a Kimbo episode.
Yeah. A 1-2 punch.
I expect y'all to have listened to this one right after the first one.
But if you listen to this one first, nigga, go listen to the first one. Go listen to the other one.
Do both.
Go subscribe to the YouTube. Get on the fucking Instagram. Nigga, go to Patreon. Nigga, give us some money on Patreon.
Give us $1.
Give us that's all you can do.
That's all we ask is $1.
2 on Christmas. Come on, man.
2.
Come
Who
on,
else is doing that?
Ain't nobody. Niggas ain't doing it like
exactly.
us. You know.
So, I mean,
show some love.
highlight your boys.
Yeah.
Social media.
We trying to make it out the hood. We trying to bring y'all with us too. You know what I'm saying? That's
not all of y'all.
Well, not everybody can go. You know, we learned that a long time ago. But you know,
if you get on the Patreon list,
you can go.
You know, you can buy your way into heaven.
The hood. Yes, out of the hood.
Being out the hood.
Yes. Talk about it.
But now, welcome back to the show. We actually have an interesting topic that we've kind of been ruminating on for a week or so.
It's the
on the idea of debt, right?
It's the other side of the coin of our first episode, which is why we dropped them in pairs. So this one we're going to talk about the concept of debt again in the spirit of Christmas. Related to giving. You think about, I don't know, a question comes up of what do we owe people? You know, when someone gives you something, what do you owe them in return? Again, in the spirit of giving, we want to look at the opposite side of that, of what that relationship is like. And there's a couple different things, I think, on both of our minds when it comes to that. The holidays are right behind us right now. We just experienced, Thanksgiving, and I had some thoughts and feelings when it comes to being around family. I had I don't know, just sitting there and thinking about family who you got mixed feelings about, people that have been in my life, I could say for sure, for a long time. And there's some people who they've used up a lot of their goodwill, much more than other people have. And being around them, and you think about the holidays, it's like, holidays sometimes feels like obligation a little bit, right? Because it's the thing to do. You have to do that. Your family, you belong to the family. It don't matter, blah, 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 blah. They did this, they did that. Whatever. Put it all to the side. Do this for the family. And now it's just been weighing on my mind. Just been thinking about that.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that is pro obligation, pro, be there for your family, be there for your people. But I think we just want to interrogate that a little bit.
I think I'm under the philosophy that because obviously in the cultural zeitgeist there's been a lot of talk about community, being in community, leaning on community, all those things, but people rarely want to do the work that it takes to build it, and also again like what you owe to each other. Like a small example would be like, if I call Micah and be like, hey, I need a ride to the airport. Not only do I expect him, if he's not busy obviously, but not only do I expect that from my friend, I also don't expect him to ask me for no goddamn gas money.
Exactly.
That's, or even when you helped me move into this apartment, it was about 9:30.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I heard in your voice you had that deep Negro style. You said,
"Yeah,
all right, I'm coming."
Yeah.
And the nigga came. Yeah. Obviously, it was what's I'm looking for. He went out the way. It wasn't his best interest to get up at the time, probably rubbing feet.
Of course not, yeah.
But that's kind of what community and having friends is about.
For sure.
You're going to be, asked to do things you don't want to do per se, but the pleasure of helping your friend is worth the...
Absolutely.
I don't know why I can't think of this word.
What come on. What?
When you inconvenient.
Okay. Inconvenience.
The pleasure of helping your friend overrides the inconvenience of what they're asking you to do.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Right, and I agree with that. Specifically in that situation, I'm like, nigga, he wouldn't have asked me if he had other options, if it was easy for him to do. It's like,
because it's just all, I moved all my other shit in. It was just that motherfucking mattress.
That's the other thing. There's the other part of asking something for someone that a lot of people I feel like don't often bring to the table. It's do some of the legwork. I don't have to. If you want me to move the mattress, cool. I will help with the other stuff, but at least clear the shit out the doorway. Yeah. Make it easy for me to find. You know what I'm saying? There's always a give and take, and I feel like in a lot of situations, it's reciprocation is not necessarily like always there. I don't even know if it's reciprocation. It's being considerate. I think that's a big part of it. And you know what? That's a word my mother used to say all the goddamn time. Is consideration.
Oh,
She used to say you niggas not, cause she never cussed, but she was like the sentiment in her voice, the way she would
she was
say
definitely saying you niggas.
It communicated niggas. So she would say you niggas are not being considerate. You need to be considerate of me. Talking to me and my brother, and 100% we wouldn't be considerate.
Yeah.
That is something that I feel like I've had to learn. Out of my late teens into my early mid 20s. Up to now, and it's still something that like the nigga gave me a look, cause whatever. Anyways, talking about being old. He's older than me, so it don't matter. Anyways,
we are not that far apart.
We 365 days apart. That's
no, we're not.
I feel like it.
No, we're not.
Somebody should do the math.
We're both 29 right now. Are we not?
Chat. Somebody do the
math.
Hold on,
how old are you?
I'm 28. Just
turned
28. Yeah, you see how niggas start to back up? You see how niggas start to back up?
Okay, no, you're right. It is, but still.
It's a full 365.
We're only one grade level away from each other.
One grade level? I don't know about that.
I was a senior, you was a junior. Because your birthday's in November.
Because sometimes niggas got late birthdays, so that puts them ahead. Sometimes that puts niggas in different. Anyways, regardless,
we're one grade level apart.
Regardless of whatever he talking about,
and niggas call you Unc just as much as they call me Unc.
He was never good at math, so he talking about grade levels and stuff like that. He don't know. It's don't listen to him. Anyways, we talking about
that was anti-black.
What? When we talk, sometimes you gotta be anti-black. You gonna leave me hanging on that.
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta be anti-black. You gotta be a little anti-black. You sprinkle it throughout. That's part of being black. Anyways, when we talk about giving and being there for people, I think the thing that really galvanized like this thought too was just like how prevalent the opposite of that is in culture. And I often wonder where that comes from. Like specifically, the sentiment that is like shown like consistently like online, where niggas, for some reason, we was talking about niggas talk about being betrayed and how I can't trust nobody, and my circle. Niggas say my circle is a period. It's just me. Just all these like sentiments that are just rampant. I feel like I started seeing that type of stuff, and maybe it was present before, but I started seeing that type of stuff like in the Facebook like era, when niggas were really just on Facebook, and you had like millennials that were maybe in their 20s. I'm like, whatever the case may be, they would say shit like that all the time.
I remember like especially like early days of Instagram.
For sure.
When people would like post words. Like in like the. Y'all don't know about that. No. But like I remember like where they would just post. Just like captions, like notes. Yeah. It'd be a screenshot of the notes after they posted. Yes. But a lot of them became popular and they would get deep fried and they would just be reused. Yes, over and over again. But what an era.
I'd be trying to find that. I have certain specific Instagram accounts. That's the other thing. There should be like social media anthropology, because there are just abandoned Instagram accounts that are just like time capsules into fucking like different eras of the internet. Pictures. Let me fucking find one.
Because I do feel like anybody not from that era, me saying deep fried, they would not understand what I'm talking about.
It's a different kind of deep fried. It's not like the deep fried shit niggas was doing a couple years ago. But yeah.
But anyway, back to the topic.
That was kind of the era that like that type of shit started. Yeah. And I just be wondering all the time, like, who are these niggas that you be beefing with that betrayed you, that did X, Y, and Z? Like, why does that sentiment exist? Like, obviously, being in community with black people will have you disappointed with black people. You will be proud and you will love black people. Right after that, niggas will disappoint you in the most tragic Shakespearean way ever.
It's definitely Capulet Montague level.
Exactly. Yes. And despite that, we still love them, right? We still got to be there for our people.
And that's community.
That's community. I guess that's just it. That's just a summation of what community is. Niggas will disappoint you. You got to still be there. Because maybe not they'll be there for you, but you still got to be there, I guess.
But I think like that sentiment of like, my circle's a period, it's just me and all of that. I think that I would assume anyway, I can only speak from an American context. That's American individualism.
It's awesome.
And because it's a better story to be like,
oh, for sure,
I did it by myself.
For sure.
When no one does anything by themselves.
Ever.
But it's a much better story to say that as opposed to saying it's like I got here off the backs of all these people.
For sure.
One seems more valiant than the other, because the one where it says you did it by yourself makes it seem like you have this internal, like, celestial power that
You're
no one else has.
Exactly. You different, you special, something like that.
Yeah.
What's always crazy too is you can always tell the type of niggas that one did not do it by themselves, and then two, they gonna tell everybody they did it by themselves. It pains me every day. These niggas disappoint us, but we still have to be there, and we still have to encourage them, and we still have to. All the work that we do is for them. They're part of the community. They're part of the nation. When we consider ourselves, they are there.
Yeah.
But
my dad told me, like, this was a couple years ago, like I was probably about like 25, 26, and we were just talking, and he had said he was talking about how I'm going to be looked in the family as I get older, and I was like, what do you mean? And he was talking about everything that him, my mom, my aunties, my uncles, my older cousins poured into me as I was coming up, and that he didn't say these words, but he was basically talking about the improvement of debt that I got as a child, like all like karate lessons, the summer camps, the buying cameras for like all that, like I'm going to have to pay that back, and it's not to them, it's to my younger cousins and my children and like the generation under me in our family. I have to pour into them as well, and it's like it's reciprocal. And it's kind of also the same thing, kind of like when your parents get older, like God forbid, I hope my parents like health is in this place where they can take care of themselves. For sure. But if it just destabilizes, like I'm going to take care, and it's not even a question. Like they don't have to tell me that. Yeah. Like I'm going to take care of my parents because they took care of me. Like it's deeper than that. Of course. But it's so instinctual that like it's I can't really explain why I feel the need to take care of my parents if they so need it.
You're bonded to them. Yeah, you're connected in a way that you can't explain. And that the only way to explain that is to call that love.
Exactly.
That is just it. And
I think niggas actually that's a good point that you said. Like there is a lack of that when it comes to community, because I do feel like that people are engaging in community for aesthetic. Okay. Like people like Sinners and like how they was able to get that juke joint up and running in a day. Sure. And everybody understood, that's community. Sure. But like there's also a lot of love there. Like 100%. There was like everybody in this juke, like we not turning vampires tonight. Yes. Except for Grip. That's another conversation. Yeah. But that like there's love there. Yeah. Like we like obviously Smoke and Stack had that big wop, had that Irish Italian wop.
You gotta have that.
But the again being inconvenienced, they did it out of love. Like they're being paid, but it's just like I'm doing it off the strength of like I love y'all as a collective. For sure. And there actually isn't that. And I feel like in the black community there's like this CA PSYOP constructed like distrust for each other, where it's like if if you're in poverty and everybody that has money does illegal activity and that illegal activity comes with backstabbing, it's gonna make you distrust your own community. For sure. But then on the other side, there's all these stories about people saying like, oh, the Doughboys make sure that I had a Christmas, or they made sure that we weren't hungry, for sure, or they made sure, you know what I mean? For sure. And so it's kind of like they're, and I think that's also again what comes with community or family, is that people are going to fuck you over or do things that you wish they hadn't, but you gotta like it can't be a one and done thing. Like I have my longest friendship. We've been friends for 12 years, I think, 12, 13 years. And we don't fight a lot, but we have gotten into it. But it's just all like, what would that have looked like if off the first transgression, we're like, fuck you.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I feel like we don't culturally, I don't even want to say culturally, but we'll just say like as a people, people have difficulty with. Like repair and rupture is like part and parcel of having a relationship with people. You have to go through rupture because you're different people. The fact that you believe this and they believe that is not grounds to end the relationship. I say that with a grain of salt. I say that with a grain of salt. There's an asterisk for sure, and y'all understand that. Yeah. It's like there are certain things we don't compromise on, right? Right. But them looking that way and me looking that way, in context, doesn't necessarily mean that we have to end the relationship. There are things to work through. There are things to talk about, and I don't know so much that people are always equipped to do that. I don't know so much that people understand that a fight doesn't necessarily mean the end. I wonder about that. And even like navigating through a fight, navigating through like a disagreement. Even if you cut somebody out, again, that don't necessarily mean it's the end. And I just often wonder about like how we can like implement that and teach those kinds of skills. I think a certain demographic of like 20 somethings that are coming up now, like our generation, Gen Z niggas, are like riddled with anxiety. That is just, I think that's the characteristic of probably our generation is anxiety that is very prevalent, very present, and it colors like everything that everyone does. Like, and honestly, I think it's part of like what has been transmitted downstream from those millennials that would talk about like, you know, their circle being a period and just can't trust nobody. That type of shit. That is what it is morphed and evolved into. We picked up those strands of those ideas. It's become like a different thing. Like when you hear your older siblings talking about that type of shit, I'm not gonna say it's the only thing, but it makes you look at people different. Like a lot of my, you know, engagement with the world, like, you know, my socialization, we talk about like in junior high and, you know, early like high school, comes through social media. Like seeing how other people talk about like other relationships and dynamics they have, and gets you to thinking, oh shit, are people gonna fuck me over? Are people like out to get me? If you green and you ain't been around like niggas like that, there is something. It like locks in your mind like a little bit, and it colors a little bit of your things. I don't think that's the entire reason for why people are anxious now, but I think that cultural transmission like certainly has like a part to play.
Yeah, you say cultural transmission. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, you know, I think when I'm talking about that, I'm thinking of like, if you think of like the evolution, like in terms of like literal like evolution, you see the fucking fish crawl out the ocean and then turn into a fucking lizard and a rat and then like a monkey and shit like that. I think in terms of the same thing when we talk about like this internet shit. So like the early version of what like being young and being on the internet looked like was like characterized by like what older millennials like used to do, right? And they had like certain types of memes, they had like certain types of, I don't know, problems that they were dealing with their specific generation. And it looked a lot like, you know, some of the shit we were talking about earlier about like how niggas will say shit like, you know, I always gotta look over my back, it's just me against the world, you know, that type of shit. That shit is very much like...
Is that sentiment like of like isolation, like, do you think like it started with millennials, or is that like a product of the internet that like Gen Z has kind of like fell into?
I feel like, honestly, it started with Gen X, and it's because of boomers, because boomers are fucking evil people and they ruin the world. And the Gen Xers are, you know, like the hip hop generation. They're like, you know, Kurt Cobain, it's Tupac, it's, you know, that's when you start to hear like, I don't
love hearing Kurt Cobain and hip hop in the same sense.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, because obviously people who've always felt betrayed, that's just like a human emotion, right? But this feeling of being like a maverick and being like, it's literally just me against the world, you know, fuck the world. I think that really became like 70s into the 80s, and then it really catalyzed with hip hop, with like, you know, grunge and punk, and, you know, all of these different like cultural movements that were just skewed very young, right? And it's very angsty and it's very angry. And it's very confused, you know, there's not a lot of like life experience and maturity that's behind it. And that like results in, you know, people, you know, people treating other people a certain way, and then those people responding in kind by being like, fuck everybody all together, I don't need nobody, you know, yada yada yada. So that's probably the earliest, that's how I see it, that's the earliest iteration of like what that looks like. And then, you know, as it like passes down, and once you have social media come into play, it like turns it into a completely different thing, where like, whereas like most people probably didn't know they could like access emotions in that kind of way and talk about them in that kind of way, talk about social dynamics in that kind of way. Now they do, because they see other niggas saying shit like that, oh, I feel betrayed, you know, I can't trust nobody, it's me against the world, you know, that type of shit. And
do you think that's like a sneaky byproduct of capitalism? Like I did it by myself, and so therefore, like I have nobody to owe from the spoils of my work. You know, but in reality, like you never do anything by yourself. You just you just can't. It's just impossible.
Yeah,
like even it's like how ridiculous would it be if a basketball player would even like take LeBron James
for sure,
and was just all like, yeah, I'm the best because I did it on my own. Nigga, you like,
impossible.
You like,
absurd.
You can't. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you have gifts and stuff that you know you can't really like, you know, collect for. But like, you have coaches, you got your family who like poured into like, you know, playing basketball as it can come, especially like now, like through the AAU system. Like that's not cheap.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell the story, if you did it by yourself, then you'll have a feeling of like you don't. Go back to what we're talking about. You don't owe anybody anything. When and I feel like there's like two types of like support. There's like that real like material support.
For sure.
Like say for instance like go back to basketball, like a coach would be like material sense of support, but also, and that's why like in sports like niggas love their coaches. They will get awards and they be like, I love my, like shout out to my coach, whatever. Yeah. And it'll be like a coach like before they was even a pro. Yeah. Like they respect their coaches, but also I feel like sports kind of like breeds that for you to respect your coach, kind of in a weird way. But anyway, there's like a less noticeable support, like the people that came to your games. Yeah. You know, the people that spent money on your equipment, the people, even like the OGs who maybe never was a professional athlete, but it's just like, hey, you could up your game if you do this one little, like things like that, like people buying your jerseys, people, you know, even on a less like monetary way, but like people painting your number on their faces, like all that applies to like your greatness
for sure.
And it's not just you, because we don't see people manifest themselves into something like truly great without community,
for sure.
And it's just all like if there is no like ability to give back to those people that put into you, it's definitely on you to give to the people coming up after you.
For sure. You know, I think I agree with you. I think that's also something that people don't consider too, because you know the end product that you see is maybe your success and like where you end up, and to a large degree, like it's like I couldn't have done it unless like I put the right foot in front of the left and like I made the shot and you so and so. Like everyone that facilitated you to get to that point has to also be considered. I think one of the things I'm really interested in, because again, when we're talking about just off the heels of the holidays, and you know, it's about like when we think in terms of family, it's less black and white. You know what I'm saying? Like family definitely pours into you. They've definitely like supported you, invested in you. But niggas also try your patience, and niggas like the love that you have for people at some points. At least for me, I can say for myself, because again, I'm thinking back to like when Thanksgiving was here. I was like, a lot of these niggas have made like weren't out there welcome a little bit, and it's hard to be in this fucking room, you know, for as long as I am in this room, and not feel some type of way. And I think that's kind of where that question even came back up about like, you know, what do we owe people? Because it's like I don't know, some people do this. Like you're not taking tally marks, you're not keeping track of like every single thing a nigga did for you, and you're not keeping track of every single thing like a nigga did to hurt you. Right. But it's like you feel
it's like an amalgamation.
Yeah, exactly. You feel it like in one way or another. You feel the weight of it, and I think for a lot of people it's hard to figure out how to move forward with that. You know, because the question like still comes up like, what do I owe this person? Like they've annoyed me, they frustrated me, but on the other hand, you know, I was talking to some one of my homeboys, and you know, he's mixed and he got racist family, and something that his mom always tells him is like, yeah, you know, blah 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 blah. They do this, but they're still your uncles. They're still your grandma. They're still this. They're still that. And I think that's
that I have a contention.
No,
with.
For sure. Go ahead.
Like, so there's only like a handful of people in this world that they could really do me dirty, and it ostensibly like wouldn't matter. Like would never cut them out of my lives. For sure. Like, and it's to me, I feel like it's biological, so I can't help. So like. My mother, and like she never, my mom's great, like she never done anything like you know, regular, you know, Gen X, having a kid, young mom shit. But like, you know, that's the person that I just can't I can't do away with. I can't. For sure. Like I really feel, especially as I've gotten older, I really feel the weight of what she's done for me. For sure. My siblings, like I just can like. I have one sibling in particular, like our relationship has been a journey, like has been a journey, but it's like through all of that, it's just like I've always had his back. I've always been in his corner. I've always only let people in our family talk about it. Like, it's just like it's a handful of niggas. It really just is. Yeah. But like with everybody else, it's like, this reminds me of like, it reminds me of two things. It reminds me of Mac Miller, and it reminds me of I forgot what the movie's called, but the movie with what is his name? John David Washington and Zendaya. Okay. The Mac Miller thing, it was small. He said in an interview, he was like, you know, he's like, I'm Mac Miller and I'm a famous rapper and I have this money and stuff, and so obviously I pick up a lot of the checks when they come. He's just like, but he was just saying like, it was an aside. He was saying it gets to a point where it's just like, do I need to cover everything? and that part was interesting because it's kind of like he probably got in the habit of covering everything because he's like he has excess, but also it's just all like he's with the same people that he was for so long that help him get to that point.
For sure.
Then it comes to a point where it's just, okay, like am I being taken advantage of, or is this expected in a nefarious way?
Yeah.
And then to the point of the movie where I don't know if you've seen the movie. I know you haven't.
You know I haven't.
I know you haven't.
But I know what you're talking about. Black and white shit. Yeah.
Yeah, black and white shit.
Yeah.
He was like, he wrote this movie and it was about like this girl going through addiction, and Zendaya's character was his girlfriend, and she's like a recovering addict.
Okay.
And when they came after the premiere and he got on stage and he thanked all these people, he never thanked her. And it was more than just like a lot of celebrities, especially like in the entertainment industry, they'll go up and they'll just like thank their partner.
Yeah.
But like she was more mad like you didn't thank me, and I feel like you couldn't have written this story without me in your life.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't his story manifested through a woman. It was like he had nothing to do with addiction besides dating her.
Yeah.
And he wrote this movie which she felt like symbolized her, did not mention her once.
Yeah.
And she's just like, you could have said
Something.
shout out to my girl, because and those are two examples of a sense of like what you owe to people and what people give you because obviously in regards to the movie, he's talented, he did all the creative labor of like writing it, producing it, film, all these things
For sure.
but like that idea came from somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're not an addict.
Yeah.
So where'd it come from?
Yeah, exactly.
And you wrote it about a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have said thank you.
Yeah, at the very least.
You could have said shout out my girl.
Bare minimum. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the Mac Miller thing because I think about that, and I've also had like people talk to me about like, like feeling like a burden, feeling like I'm not able to do as much for you as you guys like might be able to do for me, that kind of thing, right? And for a lot of people, like I will make it known if I have an issue with you. That's like never a problem. It's never a problem. Like very quickly we could talk about like whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So like when I have people say stuff like that, or when it comes to me here, they're worried about like a relationship being lopsided or something like that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For me, if I'm providing something to this friendship, like very material, and they don't feel like they're able to like reciprocate in the same way, at least for me, that means that I'm getting something out of the relationship that is non-material.
Right.
And for people you say in like Mac Miller's position, where he has like the money and the funds to provide for people and to contribute to the function or whatever the case may be in this like particular way, I think it's not always necessary for people to provide similarly,
right?
Especially if they don't have that,
right?
It would be nice if niggas picked up the check every now and then, you know what I'm saying? But like if you're the one that has that in excess, you don't need to, like that burden don't need to fall on everybody else.
Right.
The burden that falls on everybody else is to support and add something to that person's life that makes them feel like it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like
and that money can't buy.
Exactly. Like we can go out for dinner, I can pay the check, but if you a boring ass nigga, if you don't have a goddamn thing to fucking talk about, why the fuck am I paying for this dinner? I ought to run out this bitch and let you fucking go back into the back and do the dishes, nigga. Yeah. That's how you gonna pay for it today. You know what I'm saying? Add something. Don't be a boring bitch. That's the worst thing a nigga could ever do to me. That might as well be a death threat to me.
But it's just to be boring.
To be boring is the worst possible thing anybody can ever do in this life. You know what I'm saying?
In this life,
there is too much shit going on, bro, for you to be boring. For you to not have nothing to say. For you to not like just realize when you do.
Oh no, not having nothing to say actually be because to me that signals like scaredness.
No, niggas. No, see, I think there's different definitions because niggas. We can have a conversation and we could fill up the airtime for an hour.
Oh, but you mean like
if you're not talking about you could be talking, but you ain't talking about nothing.
Gotcha.
That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. When you ain't got nothing to say, and that's what kills me. That's what I'm talking about. Go do them dishes.
What are you talking about?
I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah.
But I think in that way, it's kind of like I feel like it's kind of like with all relationships. I feel like that equality is very hard to like 50 down the middle is very hard to kind of attain.
For sure.
But I think that like if you've been in any kind of relationship with somebody for let's say 30 years and you look back, you should be able to look back and be like that was relatively equal.
Yeah.
Because like especially like with celebrity, they deal with like fakeness and like all these things and turmoil that artists go through.
Yeah, all the shit. Yeah.
But it's just like not feeling like they don't have any real friends. That's when your friends who don't have the means come in and be like and reground you. It's like, hey, we back I would say back to what we were initially talking about. I just feel I just feel that like there's definitely different ways of like debt and repayment, and those things come in the form of like support.
Yeah.
You know, showing up. Showing up is a big one. It's kind of like I've seen people talk about that where, and it's funny, like when I see the sentiment, I see it from older people like in their like early mid-30s or whatever, where they're like, oh, you know, I just said no to hanging out with my friends 3 times in a row. I'm going this time just so I can keep my friends because they don't stop inviting me to stuff, and that's how you. And it's just like that. Yeah. That's such a cerebral, forward-thinking understanding of like what it actually means to be in community, what it means to maintain friendships. Yeah. Because a younger person might be like, well, if I don't want to go, I'm not going to go. Yeah. And I get that. For sure. But also, it's just all like, there's consequences. Because then when you need your friend and you call on them and you're like, hey, I need, it's just like, nigga, I haven't seen or heard from you in 6 months. And like, people be saying, trying to act like 6 months is a short period. That's a long time. Like, if how close we are, if I disappeared for 6 months. Yeah. And then I came back around. You be like, nigga, get on my face.
Yeah, nigga, what are you talking about? What the fuck is going on with you, bro? Like yeah, that half the year, 6 months.
That's a long time.
Yes, 100%.
I would have to have a crazy extra. I would be like, I was institutionalized and had no contact with the house.
Like, you gotta make something up. Yeah, it's gotta be something crazy.
Yeah, sure. It would have to be. Yeah, it would have to be. But that's how people, and then it's kind of like that facilitates the whole like my circle is a period thing, because then it's just like they'll feel like their friends were wrong for not or whatever, not being on standby essentially. For sure. And they feel like they were wrong, and then I feel like that's that cyclical thing of like, you know, and it's hard to make deep new friends. Of course. The older you get, of course, like it's hard. Yeah. Like, because you know when you're a kid, everything's so easy. It's just like, oh, if you have a friend from elementary school, and you're like, how'd y'all become friends? It's like probably we shared crayons. Yeah, exactly. Like quite literally. Yeah, literally. Yeah. And like, it's such a deep lore that you don't even remember. Yeah. But like us, I know how we became friends, and it was slow. Yeah. It was like, you know, it was like, but you know, we were both in our mid-20s. Yeah, like exactly. It was like, you know. Yeah, yeah. One of us was in the mid-20s, but you know, the other one had been pushing 30 for a minute. But you know, but I hear what you're saying. We were both in our mid-20s. One of us was in the mid-20s, but your point is taken. I was 25. No, I was 26. You see what I'm talking about. You was 24. That memory, that old head memory, man. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. But anyways, the point is taken, because I think that's a lesson that has to be learned. Like even slowly. Like think about myself. A thing that kind of turned me into low-key like who I am is my grandparents, my mom, just parents, and my older siblings. Like everybody was in my life when I was a little kid, kind of being like, oh, he's a kid, he don't know what he wants. You know, they write you off. At least they wrote me off in a very particular way that always fucking pissed me off. I used to be fucking vibrating. No, I know what the fuck I want. Don't tell me. Did you know what you want? I did. Okay. I 100% did. My mom even tells me there was a story. I was little, maybe like 2 or 3. Where like I think my grandma, she was like seeing me for like the first time after like a little period of time, because we moved around a little bit, and my grandma went and like poured like some cereal or something like that for me, and I forget exactly what the fuck it was, but she must have asked me, you know, she's like, what else do you want with your cereal or whatever, and I was like, milk, you clown. And you called your grandmother a clown? I called my grandmother a clown, and because I was such a baby. Did she smack the fire out of you? She did not. She laughed the fuck at it, apparently. That's what they tell me. I don't remember none of this, but that's what they tell me. I've always been a forceful nigga. My mom has also told me, my dad tells this story all the time, and it makes my mom mad. She don't like it. They were like my dad was in bed, and I jumped up in bed, and I was just chilling with him, right? And my mom got in bed. Oh, that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Picture perfect. Black excellence, black family, black love, all that shit, right? And I'm just sitting in the middle. Being tended to his son. Exactly. And my mom gets in bed, and she reaches over to kiss him, and palm to her face, I push her away. I'm like, what are you doing, nigga? We chilling here. What the fuck is going on? And she was not happy about that. And my dad tells me that he says, Micah, you apologize to your mother right now. You apologize to her, or you get up and you get out. So I got up and I got out. And I walked the fuck away. It's like what I'm not gonna do. 2 or 3 years old. Always been like this. And my dad talks about the story, and he laughs at it all the time. My mom thinks back to it, and it's a traumatizing story for her, with very much ire. And yeah, I forget why the fuck I brought that up. Well, I brought any of that up. But I'm thinking about like
you owe Mom, apology.
I owe my mom an apology for sure. You know what? That's the other thing. There was a long period of time because I grew up primarily with my mom. I grew up with my mom and my grandma, like a little bit, right? And we had a very contentious relationship. Like as I started to get into like teenage years,
I can imagine.
You trying to get exactly. You trying to be. I very much was hell. I was fucking up. I was doing a lot of fucked up shit, and I had to turn that around. For a long period of time, me and my mom were not getting along. We was not having a good time. And she didn't know what to do with me. She just straight up didn't know what the fuck to do with me. And I know that caused her hell. I know that caused her problems. And once I turned it around, because I turned it around at like the end of like in the middle of high school. Like I was not passing my classes. I had to redo 9th grade. I fucking was about to fail 10th grade. Then they put me in another school, and we turned it around, right? We ended up going to college for like arts. I think I told you
Yeah.
I was gonna do that before. Went to college for art, and I still didn't know what the fuck I was doing. There was still like a process that had to be like gone through. So I ended up dropping out of like college. Like this was also was crazy. College, like I graduated high school in like June. College started in July. So I left home. I know because it was a for-profit school. It was the Art Institute. So
Gotcha.
So them niggas started me in July, and I was like, I'm not ready for all that. So we had to switch things around in like 2 or 3 weeks. I didn't have no time to rest and nothing like that. We had to get straight into school. So July is when it started. New dorm. I've never been like away from my parents. I'm living in a dorm. I finally have my car. Just got my license not too long ago, and I was also like on the path to try to like get sober and like change my life and all that shit. Because again, I was fucking up in high school doing crazy shit. And I'm finally on my own. I have roommates, and they was like smoking like day in and day out. It's kind of funny. My mom, very religious woman, very very spiritual. Her and my stepdad, they drove me to my dorm. First time I ever go to the dorm. And we're like, you're gonna meet your roommates today, and I'm like, cool. So it was 4 of us to like a dorm, and it was like an apartment. So we had a living room and then 2 bedrooms and then like a bathroom, bathroom, right? So we walk in, and there's like 2 niggas who are my roommates, and then 2 other niggas who are their friends, right? And I'm 18. My roommates were like 24, 25. Their friend was this big Mexican looking dude, long hair. He low-key looked like if like they depicted Lucifer in like a fucking, he just had long hair and just like a pointy kind of face, and them niggas.
I need you to wrap up the
what
the description of this.
I'm just that's it.
Mexican Lucifer. What?
A Mexican Lucifer, right? He was light skinned. He had long like curly wavy hair, and he had like a beard, and he had like a pointed nose, and them niggas had obviously been smoking. It smelled like weed. My mom knocked on the door.
They looked like weed.
They looked like
your mom was.
She didn't know. She knew something was off because the vibes were off. Because they were obviously high. They had just hit in the bongs and shit like that. They told me later on. Because my mom knocked on the door. They're like, oh shit, we got the new roommate coming with his parents and shit. So they took a minute to get to the door.
They're trying to get themselves together.
They're trying to get themselves together. And I walk in, and everybody, again, they're all high. And I can see it. I don't think my mom has ever been around people like that. So they're just kind of quiet. And they look intimidating. And my mom was like freaking out. She did not like it. Them niggas were trying to be quiet and not give away that they're high.
Yeah.
And anyways, we move my shit in. And before they leave, my mom is like, again, I get a lot of my boldest from her, but also from my dad. But from her, she's like, I'm gonna need to pray over this place before I go. So she took out the anointing oil and she put it over my bedroom door, but also the door of the apartment. And she prayed, and they were like, yeah, go ahead. And they're just sitting there high, just tripping. So, anyways, again, I forget what the fuck I'm talking about this, but yeah, that was college. And in terms of my relationship with my mom, you talking about me owing an apology to my mom. I spent a long period of time away from her after like a very contentious part in our relationship, right? And spending that time away from her, I think was really good for me, right? Got to actually live life, learn, met a lot of people, did a whole lot of shit during that, like from July to like October when I dropped out of fucking college, and then came back home. And once I came back home, I was there for maybe like a month. Didn't have shit to do. It was just summer. Not summer. It was October. So me and my mom, we was just driving around doing whatever the fuck. We were getting. I think we were rebuilding our relationship, repairing, right?
Yeah.
And we only got to do that for like a month because it was like November 13th of that same year, 2016, that I left California and I came out to Virginia. I have not been in California since.
Oh wow.
And that's when
I've seen your mom since.
I've seen my mom. She's
like come out here.
She's come out here. She moved out here, moved to Texas. She like moving around a lot for whatever reason. So I've seen her since then, but we do not see each other as frequently as I would like. And she also like, I don't know. She's watched me grow up. She's watched me go through this stage of my life. Yeah. And we have like.
How do you feel about where you are now?
She's elated. Like she couldn't be happier. Like they my family is also, they're not the most like artful when they talk and when they describe things. Okay. Niggas would be like, I didn't know what was gonna happen to you, but man, you really pulled it together. I'm so proud of you. I'm like, hey, coming out a little strong, but like I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're saying. But my mom is like, she's like, again, religious, want this prophecy to fulfill. This is what God told me, He had for you, what He had for all my sons, all this stuff. And yeah, when you talk about like what you owe somebody, that is, I think, a large part of what at least motivates me and drives me, because it's like, yeah, I did her dirty for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I would imagine maybe a lot of like young men could probably like relate to that. Maybe not even just young men, but just
definitely.
people
I feel like
generally.
I feel like our stories are very like similar.
For sure.
Because like I went to college, dropped out, had tumultuous relationship with all three of my parents.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's the thing of like, it's like, especially like I feel like they've all supported me in very different ways. Like my dad, who I come from, like really supported me like mentally. Like you could just like talk to that man and he'll just be he'll make you feel like you can run through a wall. And my other dad supported me like emotionally and spiritually, and spiritually, not religiously. For sure. Like, I mean, like very specific. Like, supporting me in that way. Like he was like the first man that like he was like, it's okay to cry, and he didn't mean that in like a frou-frou, like like he was just like, nah. Like I've seen him cry several times. For sure. And I've always felt emotionally vulnerable with him. Yeah. And he supported me in that way, and my mom has done everything. Like, leaving Texas, coming back home, and just like, I'm sure for any like 20-something who's been on their own and essentially like has failed, going back home is like a big ego check. Yeah. But like knowing, like going back home and knowing my mom is just all like not ashamed, and it's just all like, and also saying like you can always come back home. Like this is I'm your parent. Yeah. And so like now that I'm kind of on the other side of that, I obviously look forward to paying it forward to people in my family that are younger than me. But also, like, it's very in the front of my mind, like, I need to give it back to my parents some kind of way. For sure. Like, whatever it may be. For sure. I, that also makes me think about, like, like we, in a very real way, like, very lucky to have parents that respond to, like, failure in that kind of way. Like, I know, I got people I'm thinking about, like, right now that I know they do not have that. Yeah. That is not, there are niggas not an option.
We talk about how we get it out the mud. There are niggas who really had to get it out the mud and do it all for themselves. And you see them, I see them struggling. I see a lot of them struggling sometimes. And that is in large part why I think, I'm like, regardless of like how lopsided or not the relationship is in like a material sense or whatever, a lot of those people, like, they give me a lot, and it's like, it's nothing for me to give them what they need in their time of need. Yeah. Because, like, I've been fortunate enough to be put in this position to not have to trip about some of these things and not have to worry about these things. And other people do, right? And those people mean a lot to me. And it's just like what you were talking about. Like when we were talking about this earlier, like it's almost like you can't even really quantify quite what it is. And the only way to describe that is just love, right? Yeah. Just love for your people. And I think that also really encapsulates kind of why we even wanted to do this thing, you know? It starts off as a podcast, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we really want to turn this into community, but also something to facilitate what the people in our community want to do. Like, we know our people that have talent, and even the people that haven't even come to realize their talent, I think we all see, like, the potential in a lot of the people that we know, right? Right. And there's not a place necessarily for people to showcase that, right? And I think that's again a large part of what even motivates us to do this, and that's just something we want to advance, because niggas can turn a real career out of this shit. Niggas can pay some bills with this shit. Niggas can alleviate people with a lot of stress. Yes, and I don't know. That's what we really think this is about, and I think that's what we owe the people that we care about.
Like, I don't know who said it, but like a lot of revolutionaries always say that the revolution is a revolution of love. I feel like love is a very indebting emotion to give, and the only way to pay it back is through more love. Right. Yeah. I be editing these episodes so fucking good. Oh my god! Editing is so good. That was episode 2. Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, we got hit with the Akimbo episodes. Yeah, 1-2 punch. There's not a third one. Depending on when you're listening to this.
Whenever you listen to this. We'll be back.
Come next week.
Next week
on a brand new episode. Hopefully, if everything goes well with some special guests.
It will.
Follow us on all the socials. They'll be down in the little description.
For sure.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.